Today's episode of Cocktails and Conversations is a powerful and necessary dialogue on sustainability, responsibility, and what it truly means to build with intention in today's world. I couldn't think of a more aligned guest to share this space with than Jamila Brown. In this conversation, Jamila shares her journey into sustainability not as a trend, but as a long-term commitment to systems change. This episode goes beyond the surface level greenwashing. We explore what sustainability actually requires: accountability, innovation, and a willingness to challenge traditional business models. Jamila speaks candidly about navigating industries that are still learning, the importance of transparency, and how brands can move from performative gestures to meaningful impact. For founders, creatives, and decision makers looking to integrate sustainability into their work in a way that feels authentic rather than just aesthetics, this episode is both grounding and galvanizing. So pour something intentional, settle in, and join us for a conversation that is honest, forward-thinking, and rooted in purpose. This is Cocktails and Conversations. Let's get into it. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Cocktails and Conversations with me, Deborah Babio. Today, I have a beautiful soul in the studio with me. I keep saying studio, but it really feels like my home. We're going to have a great chat. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you, but it's going to be a beautiful conversation, and I literally can't wait. Jamila, welcome.
Oh, thank you. That was so sweet.
Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much. Okay, so my name's Jamila Brown. I used to always joke Jamila, it rhymes with tequila. So it's kind of fitting actually for this podcast. But I would say that, so I'd be like, now you can't like mispronounce it or forget it, right? So Jamila Tequila on the Cocktails
I love
and
that.
Conversations podcast.
I'm literally going to use that.
Maybe we can name this cocktail the Jamila Tequila.
Oh, and done and done.
Done. I've been advocating. When I first moved to London, my first jobs were in bars, and I was pushing that. Every single bar owner I met, bar manager, I was like, get a Jamila Tequila on the menu. Never happened, but today's the day.
Today's the day, and I promise you, if God puts it on my journey and I open my cocktail bar, you'll definitely get a cocktail.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Done and done. It's on record.
It's
on record. It's happening.
Finally.
Jamila Tequila.
Jamila
I
Tequila.
can do it. Tell us what you do.
What I do, yes. Sorry, so that was the intro.
No,
actually. I went straight to the alcohol.
Girl, I ain't complaining.
So I'm an impact strategist. I own an impact agency, and we
called?
help. Yeah, my
Let's
impact
plug.
agency is called Lightwork, because we're here to help people step away from the dark side. Okay, like the world can be such a bright, beautiful place, and we help businesses essentially figure out how they can do better for people, better for the planet, and still deliver everything you want. Because I think so much of sustainability.
Yeah.
And this sort of world and work has been like around sacrifice. Like, oh, if you want to be more sustainable, you can't like ever buy new clothes, or you can't have nice things, or you can't drive a car.
Yeah.
But there's so
Or you
much
can't fly.
innovation. Yeah, you can't fly. Like, you can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
You need to be like a vegan hippie that doesn't shower and like never leaves the house, right? And I think that there's just so much innovation out there in the world around industries that are transforming to make their products and their services both sustainable, but also like fucking, are we allowed to cuss? Fucking awesome.
Girl, go for it.
Right? That like, I'm here to help businesses like get with it. It's time to transition. The solutions are out there. Let's make it happen. So that's me. That's what I do. We at Lightwork are all about trying to just make things better for people.
Let's make some light work of these drinks.
Let's do it.
Let me pour you a drink, girl.
Thank you. The Jamila Tequila.
The Jamila Tequila.
For the first time, grand debut.
Love this. Exclusive. Exclusive. Okay, you have to tell me what it is, because I literally just made up, as you saw.
Well, it better be good now that we've named it. Maybe this is just to attempt one, but it might be
This is just like the tester.
All right, so I told you I used to work in bars, so let's
Yes.
This drink is presented in a coupe with a sliced lime garnish rim on the side. We're seeing
cheers into
specks of cayenne. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting notes of pomegranate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's as far as I can go. Cheers to you. Congrats on this.
To you. Jamila Tequila.
All right, let's do it.
Let's see.
That's good.
Ooh.
That's good.
I always surprise myself each episode. I don't know why, but this is nice.
What did you put in here?
It's like a bit of lime, a bit of like sweetener, a lot of cayenne, to be honest, and tequila, of course.
Nice. I like the spicy. That's great.
Oh gosh, that is really good. If I say so. Okay, before we get to everything you said, where did it all start for you? What was little Jamila like?
Little Jamila. Okay, so this might surprise people. Well, maybe it won't. But basically, I grew up on military bases. So I
Ah,
have a really like different background to anybody else I know in London, basically.
wow. Tell us what you
Um,
mean.
so my mom's German.
Mm-hmm.
My father is African American. He was in the army. He moved in the 80s to the
Ah,
largest American military base outside of America, which is in Germany.
right.
And in the 80s, all these black guys came over to
Mm-hmm.
Germany.
Mm-hmm.
All the German girls were like, oh my gosh. So as you can imagine, everybody in this town called Kaiserslautern is
Oh,
like half German, half black, who's my age as
no
a result, right?
way.
A lot of people, yeah.
I
Um,
yeah, I didn't I wouldn't have figured.
yeah, it's
Where's it? Kazakhstan.
Kaiserslautern. It means Emperor's City.
Where
Or
in
the
Germany?
Americans call it K-Town.
All right. How
So it's
far is it?
near,
It says obviously I know Berlin.
yeah,
I'm showing my geography skills here.
yeah,
So I know Berlin. What if
nowhere near
what's
there.
the no
Do you know
any?
Frankfurt?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's about an hour south of Frankfurt. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my life was growing up on base, but traveling the world. We moved every sort of
Right.
like 3 to 4
So do you remember
years.
life in Germany?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And actually, I mean, kind of oddly, my parents ended up splitting, but my mom had already been in America that time, had kind of gotten used
Right.
to the military lifestyle. So then
Right.
she joined the military. So
No.
my mom was German, but she
No.
was American Air Force. So she was my military parent.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
That is wild.
yeah, I know. It's kind of funny, isn't
But you
it?
would think that that would put her off though, because obviously she's seen your dad go through it. Obviously the long out like being away or the traveling, and she
Mm.
that's normally it's
I
like they
know.
get put off. But I love the fact that she joined. What
No,
did she
I
then?
really rate my mom.
Yeah,
She's a bad bitch, my mom.
love
Like,
it.
she was playing around. And she
Literally.
also, I just need to shout out my mom real quick.
Go
By
on.
the time she retired, she was one of the highest ranking female non-commissioned officers in the Air Force, period, around the world. Like,
Wow.
bad bitch.
Wow.
And did it as a single mom with 3 kids and no help from my dad. Yeah.
Really? Oh wow, that is incredible. I mean, I always say women, we're superheroes.
Mm,
We really are.
it's true.
We really are. Like what we do, what we accomplish, and how we do it, juggling it all. It has to be studied
Yeah.
seriously. It's
I
like
think so.
no, it is. It's like, and I really wonder why more women are not in positions of power in government, positions of power like in our industry design world. Like a lot of the creative directors are male.
Right?
It's like
It's not
oh,
bizarre.
it's for me blows my mind. It really blows my mind. But anyway, I digress. Your mum joined the military. So how did that affect you? Because then you have both parents in the
Yeah.
military. Like
So
has
my
that
dad, so my dad is kind of out of the picture
okay?
at that point. And
Are you
was
close
out
to
of
him
the
still though?
military, out of the picture. Sorry?
Were you still close to him though?
No,
Like,
no,
okay.
no, no. Like have zero relationship with him.
Okay.
But so grew up with this like powerhouse, like single mom,
Mm-hmm.
military, like first shirt sergeant, and moved loads. Like so we were always living on bases all around the world. Lived in England before,
You
Germany.
said you're 3. So are you the oldest?
I'm the
Youngest?
oldest. Yeah, firstborn daughter, and I've got 2 little brothers.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I met one of them.
You did, yeah,
Yes,
baby
yes,
Christian.
yes,
He's actually
yes.
30, so I can't keep calling him baby, but he is a baby in my eyes, Trevor.
I love it.
But yeah, so growing up on base is like a bubble for
Mm,
real because on base everybody's got access to like the same healthcare. We all
mhm,
go to the same school.
mhm,
For the most part, we all live on the same housing, either on base or you
mhm.
get like X amount of money to live off base, and everyone kind of goes to the same place. So it's like a
Right.
very, very like equitable world, actually.
A community.
Yeah.
Because you understand what, being on basis, you understand what the job entails, what your parents are doing, right? So therefore it's not like, oh, when you go to school and normally it's like, oh, why is your dad not at parents' evening or blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You,
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you get it. Because you're like, well,
Yeah. And that's
he's not here.
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like also everybody's parents does the same job. So
Mm,
there's no like it's really homogenous.
yeah.
And so I think I grew up thinking that this is just what the world is like
Mm,
everything's really equal. And like
mhm,
I would read about or I'd hear about like, racism or
mm,
sexism. Actually there is probably a bit of quite a lot of sexism in the
mhm,
military, but
mhm.
like racism and all these sorts of things. And I just never really experienced them growing up because base is just
Yeah.
quite
It's
safe
just, yeah. Yeah.
and quite equitable
Mm.
because we all have access to the same thing. So that was kind of my
Yeah, so
childhood
there's
was
no like obviously in
no
school
one's
it's
the
like oh
poor
yeah,
one.
yeah,
You
right.
know,
There's no
there was none of that really.
none of that really, and I guess you just make friends easier because they all understand where you kind of have a bond, right? Because it's like okay, dad or mom has deployed or they're not there or
Exactly.
like they you kind of lean on each other and there's no
That's exactly right.
teasing in that
No.
sense of like your parents are not here or you're because everyone kind of gets it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also the family gets it as well. And I guess there's more of, which I feel like our society misses nowadays, community, whereas
Mm.
your mom could be like, hey, can you watch the kids for me whilst I don't know, whatever she needs to do that day. There's that sense of community, that sense of, togetherness, where we've lost that. There's like a lot of isolation in this,
Yeah.
day
Oh,
and
yeah,
age.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We were really like
A
sort of
knit
tight
team.
knit.
Yeah.
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 Tight knit fabric
And then, I
on
mean,
base.
your siblings, you were quite tight knit as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
definitely. And yeah, so just growing up in that world, I think when I was 16, we finally got stationed somewhere. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Have you ever heard of Wyoming? It's the least populated state in America.
Literally, I only know because of like Kanye brought everyone there for a release party one time. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
And that was it. And
That's really random.
I don't really know of
Yeah.
Wyoming, and I didn't realize it was like a state in America like
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah. It's the least populated one, so I get it.
Yeah,
There's no reason
yeah.
to go.
So you were
but
stationed there.
So we were stationed there. I think I was 16, and it was maybe the first time in a really long time. Actually, no, it probably was the first time I'd ever been to school off base. So now I'm in a system or a community or a school, that's like actually really mixed, where it's not like, everybody here
goes to
moves every 2 to 3 years. Like that's the normal thing to do. Everybody's parents are all doing the same thing. It was like all of a sudden,
does that mean
this.
You didn't make friends easily, or you made friends easily?
I think actually completely the opposite. Because you move every 2 years, you get really good at like being friends with people, right? Because it's like it's part of your world, right?
Yeah.
And also, everybody else who you knew was also moving every 2 to 3 years. So as a like group, we were all just quite like used to it. In fact, the kids who didn't move were the weird ones. We're like, you've been here for 7 years. Like,
what do you mean?
How do you manage? How do you survive with the stability?
How you coping with this? Like, what? Are you bored?
Yeah, no, literally that. But so the first time I went to school off base, my eyes were like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like, I remember going to this party. I must have been like 17, and they were smoking marijuana. And I called my best friend back on base in England, and I was like, Chandel, this party, they were smoking marijuana. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like way worse than weed. And she was like, way worse than weed. She was like, it's the same thing. Like, I didn't even know, because we were just so like, I was like, no, it's like hard drugs, marijuana. Weed's fun. Marijuana is hard drugs. She was like, no.
It's the same, babe.
Not quite. But yeah, so going back to the military thing, the other thing I think that really connected us, or was really instilled in me, was like we all believed that, we were in service to the country, right? Or like, everything that our families were doing, we were dependent, so we're included in that, was like for the greater good. And, now, I guess 15 years later, I'm going to say 15, I think it's probably more than that, but let's not talk about how old I am. And being outside of on base for a long time, I can see that actually not everyone thinks America's military is like the saviors of the world, but that's definitely the like sort of culture that we were grown up in, right?
And did that come from your parents, or that came from like the community or friends you built? Like how was that?
That's just the vibe on base, right? It's like every day at 4:00, the national anthem would play, so we'd have to stop. If you're outside, you cannot walk. You have to stop. You have to put your hand on your heart, and you have to do the national anthem. And, everything that you're told is like, your parents are protecting our country. You're protecting our country by supporting them. And not just our country, but you're protecting world peace. America's military is like, the good guys, And so I really believed my whole life. I won't quite go so far as say I don't 100% believe it now, but I understand this feeling of like wanting to do something that is bigger than yourself.
And like
that sacrifice, right? Is like, it's dangerous being in the military. Like I have friends whose parents like didn't come back home, but you comfort yourself. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but I guess that like if they've gone, it's because they were doing something bigger than themselves. They were doing it for the greater good of mankind. So I've always kind of had this like, what you're doing needs to be for good, instilled in me.
Right.
And so that kind of got me to, I guess, where I'm at now.
Oh my gosh. And so like from, obviously you've gone to, I think you said you were 16, 17 now, right? Obviously, so now you have a sense of self, sense of who you are. Now going to the, I don't want to call it normal school, but going to a more
we would call it off base with civilians.
Off base civilian school. Did that change your perspective in terms of obviously what the military stood for? Literally interacting with different people from all different walks of life and backgrounds, and then like, did you see more bullying, more different, like anxiety-inducing situations because obviously everyone's coming from different. Like, how did that shape you?
Yeah, I mean, so going to school off base with the civilians.
Yeah.
Was, I mean, that was like I think the tagline they would write on your paperwork.
Yeah.
I think what it showed me was that inequality does exist, actually. And in Wyoming, and again, this is like 2006, so 20 years ago. Ugh, now I've said it.
Oh, wow. Oh, God, when you say it like that,
I know.
that's even like, not my niece is not even 20 yet. Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, so 20 years ago in Cheyenne, Wyoming, I don't know what it's like now because I've not been, but there was like a real divide in the like, they're the white people, and then there are like some really, really poor Mexicans who like live in trailers, and it's just a complete like divide. And I'm not saying that every white person was rich, because definitely they weren't, and every Mexican person was poor, but you could kind of really clearly see like
the divide,
the separation.
Right.
And that was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that, because again, on base, everybody lives in the same housing.
All the houses are shaped the same. No one's got a bigger house, more like it's not. No one's got more or less than whatever. It's like all the same.
Or even if it wasn't enough to be like, well, we have nothing and they have everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So did you find empathy? Like, how did you can make friends easily, but like, how did you then? You didn't have that common ground, right? How did you survive, basically?
I mean, well, look, I was good at making friends, good at talking to people, just because I've moved a lot. So that was fine. And again, I was only in Wyoming for like 2 years, and then it was on to the next base.
Right.
So I kind of, I guess, over time, and then it was off to college or uni, as they call it here, right? And then it was like landing in London. So as I went to all these different places, Wyoming.
Oh, that's how you got to London.
Florida. I'll tell you that story.
Okay.
But Wyoming, Florida. I lived in Arizona for like a few weeks randomly. Germany, I went to for my first year of uni, and then to Arkansas, where my mom was stationed to help look after my brothers while she was deployed. So I'm starting to see.
God, you're a global traveler.
Yeah,
I love
but
it.
all the very random places like Cheyenne, Wyoming on the passport, like Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh my God! But then it gives you perspective, though. I feel it gives you really good perspective.
It really like
a good
opened my eyes.
a good worldview, and seeing different people from different walks and different spaces. So it's like that is actually a gift, because not many children, kids, or even people get to have that. So I can see how that could be a real benefit. And also being sometimes I was a military kid and we moved a lot, and people see it as a negative, right? Whereas from your perspective and how I'm seeing you speak about it, it's very much like, wow, that is a worldview that most people never get to have, and such a privilege to have to be able to see that in your upbringing and obviously not by choice, because your parents moved, so it's not like you took yourself to all those places. But it was very much like, I guess that's brought you to where you are and how you are able to connect with so many people from different walks of life. Because like, even I was trying to think where we met and how we met. I just couldn't. I wanted to ask you, like, do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh God, tell me.
Yes. Okay. So it was when you were working for Edward, and I was working at Soho House, and I was running a fundraiser called Black Minds Matter. We were raising money for this charity.
Yes.
And Vanessa, from Soho House, the chief membership officer.
Yes.
We were trying to find experiences to raffle to raise money, and she connected me to you to get an afternoon tea booked in with Edward. Which you graciously facilitated.
Yes. Oh my God.
Which was really great. And we raised a lot of money for that as well. So thank you.
You're welcome. Wow.
And
that's when I was an assistant. Like, I was just literally, again, I've spoken time and time on this podcast, like being in the positions, it was never of, oh, I can't help, or I used it in a way of letting the power get to my head. If I could help, I would gladly and willingly do so, And it was such a
And I think
cause.
you really did like make that happen, because before the ask, the conversation was like, oh, he probably doesn't want to just have afternoon tea with some random person. He's kind of a bit private, And I was like, well, maybe we'll ask anyways. And you were like, look, he would probably say no to this, but I'm going to make this happen. So you really facilitated that. I really rate you for that.
Thank you.
But you were always just like a name in my inbox for a while when we were organizing that. And then one day we were both invited to this retreat at Soho Farmhouse for Black creatives. And
shout out to Adrian.
Yeah, and Chris Glass.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, Chris.
Yeah, Chris Glass.
Of course.
Yeah. And And then I think we were just talking, and you're like, "Oh, I'm Deborah." And I was like, "Oh, wait, are you the Deborah from my inbox?" And you were like, "Oh, yeah." And then from there, that's how we properly met. Yeah.
OMG. Oh, wow. Because your memory's good, girl.
Yeah.
Because, wow, this is why I need to write things down because I forgot all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you've got a lot to remember, to be fair.
No, we all do, but still, like, seriously, write things down because that's thank you for reminding me of that because that was a beautiful day or weekend that we had. It was so good. It was really, really good. We need to do it again, guys.
I remember being surprised to meet you, putting the face to the name, because I think I like kind of expected.
Ooh, tell me.
I think I kind of expected like an old,
no way,
like kind of gatekeepery, like no kind of person, like someone's mom is like there to like protect. You know?
My God, I love this because I
then
never
when
know
I
what
met you,
people
I'm
think.
like, are you sure? Because you were like bubbly and like young and beautiful and fun, and I was expecting like a no man, almost. You know what I mean? Like So it was really.
Oh, I
I'll
love that.
never forget that.
I love
Pleasantly
that.
surprised.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because I just never know. Because like literally, obviously, I know I'm a good person. I know I do a good job at whatever I do. But to see it from someone's perspective, right, and to see it from like obviously what we know the fashion industry to be and how people behave. I always try not to be that, but you just never know if it's coming across.
Yeah.
Right? You just never know if you're impacting that person in the way that you envision. So,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was good.
Anyway, back to you. We are in Wyoming. We're leaving. 2 years is up. We're going. Where are we going?
We're moving. After Wyoming, I went to Arizona for a real tiny bit, like I think like 6 weeks, and then they were like, "Never mind, changing," and then we went to Arkansas.
Wow, you're gonna be unpacked, babes, and 6 weeks.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I think we hadn't even found a house yet. I was still living in like the TFL, the temporary lodging facility, as we call it, TLF, TFL here.
Right.
TLF.
Yeah, I know. Do you get mixed up with American and English things? Like,
I think I've lived here now for 14 years, and I think sometimes I forget if something I'm saying is American or British. Like they've just merged into one for me.
Right. I feel like you're a global citizen, so I feel like you can't. Do you speak German?
Yes. Natürlich kann ich Deutsch sprechen.
Oh, international Germany. We're coming to you. We're going to do this.
We're going to Berlin.
We're coming to Berlin. We're going to do a podcast. Who wants to have us? Who wants to host us? I'm putting it out there. Oh, nice.
My German actually gets much better after a cocktail, so this is perfect.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, wow. So where are we now in the journey?
Moved a lot. So Wyoming, Arizona, Arkansas, Germany. By Germany, now I was in university.
Yeah.
But because I had moved quite a bit that last year of high school, my college applications were a mess. I was like, I'll take a year off. I'll go to Germany. There might have been a guy involved I wanted to spend more time with.
Of course.
And then we'll reset from there.
Yeah.
So, I was in Germany. Actually, that year I had gotten like a what's it called? A nursing assistant license.
Right.
In high school. Okay. It was like one of the classes you could go on.
Right.
And so in Germany, I ended up working as like a medic almost in a military hospital.
Oh, wow.
Which was like amazing and life-changing. And again, really filled that like sense of service that I needed to have. And saw some crazy things in that hospital.
Sure.
It was, the middle of sort of like the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts and and so from there I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor because this is my purpose.
I was gonna say, did that change you? Did that make you feel like, okay, I want to be part of this, I want to join the military, or I want to I wanted part of this?
I had it all figured out. I was gonna go to med school. I was gonna join the Navy. I was not gonna be an Air Force brat like my mom was. I was gonna go Navy, go blue.
Wow. And is that against, like, so some families are like, you have to go, you have to follow or was she very much like?
It's all good. My mom wouldn't have minded.
Okay.
And then about a year into being in Germany, my mom got deployed. Where did she go? Saudi Arabia, I think. She's been deployed a lot, so I can't remember exactly where at that time. But my brother, so I was 18, 19 at the time, and my younger brothers were still in school.
Right.
And what had happened before when my mom would get deployed, because she was a single mom, is we'd have to go stay with people, usually my grandparents in Germany, and then go to school on base there. Or, sometimes we'd get split up. I'd go stay with a friend in Florida. My brother would go stay here, which was, again, kind of fine.
I know, but no, Jamila, you're making this sound so normal, but it really isn't, girl.
Doesn't everybody do that?
You're literally like, I am so glad we're having this conversation because literally I'm just like looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, it wasn't like always perfect. It's not like utopian,
No,
but like,
but
I think
that's still a lot to be separated from your parents already gone, right? And then having to then, not seeing your brothers for like what, couple of months?
Yeah. I mean, it would be like 6 months, 9 months
Yeah.
sometimes.
That's still a significant
And then
amount
it's
of
like
time.
new school.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. And I
Because
think
you're juggling that, making friends, that's a lot to like, right now kids would be like, this is too much anxiety for me. You're
Yeah.
literally like painting a picture of you're saying you're in your teens, but you're literally like living an adult life of having to make friends. Even making friends now as a 40-year-old, I'm just like, oh my God. So now it's like having to make friends, new school, new living place. Like I'm just about like know where my corner shop is and get settled and and then you have to move. Like it's just a lot.
I quite like the adventure, and also again, everybody else I knew was doing the same thing.
Right.
To an
guess.
extent.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't have to leave if one of their parents left because they had a parent at home. But it wasn't like, again, it wasn't 100% perfect utopian. Like sometimes it was a bit challenging, but for the most part, like I quite liked the adventure and I liked getting to go to a new school and almost reinvent myself sometimes, And like I got to really like, I guess, personality test almost. Like at my last school, people in Wyoming didn't like when I bragged about being in London, so maybe I won't do that at my next school, because they've never left Wyoming.
You can literally trial and error. You can literally like make up a whole new persona for yourself,
yeah,
and a whole new life.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so.
But
fair.
also I think it really like helped me figure out who I was.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did we transition from wanting to be a doctor into where we are now?
Yes. So my mom was getting deployed.
Right.
I went back to Arkansas to look after my brothers. Started going to a liberal arts university there. Pre-med was the like sort of undergrad, but as part of that, they make you do like arts sort of classes. So I think I took art history and I loved it. And I spoke to my advisor at the time and I said, if I do an art history major, so I spend more time studying art history and a little bit less time doing like biology, chemistry, could I still get into med school? She's like, yeah, definitely. So we set up my whole thing, did the art history thing, got sent on this really prestigious internship to Washington, D.C. to work at the Trust for the National Mall. So this is where like the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, all those things are. So it was this like big organization that basically protects all those monuments, that public art, right? And funds it and maintains it and all of that. So did that great internship. And then at the end of it, was meant to go back to Arkansas, and I was like, I actually don't want to. And I was literally sat in the dorms, like they were like, you need to leave, like it's over, you have to go.
It's time.
And I was just like, I don't want to. And so I was thinking, what do I really want? And I was like, I just want to go back to Europe for a bit. Like maybe I'll just take a year out, go to Europe, and then go and finish, uni or whatever. So as they're kicking me out the dorms, I looked for like the cheapest flight I could find. It was either London, Rome, or Berlin. London was the cheapest one. So I booked that one for the next day. I like packed up all my shit in a suitcase and like FedExed it to my mom's house in Arkansas. I sold my car that day and I moved to London the next day with like no plan.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Literally wild.
Yeah.
And you've been here how many years?
Now it's been 14 years, so I did not go back to uni.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that suitcase is still at my mom's house, and every time I visit her, she's like, take your shit. I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I love that sense of adventure.
Yeah.
But I guess you built that from all your years of traveling and moving. There was no like, oh my God, I don't know anyone in London. That hesitation, right?
No,
Which
I
is
was
like,
scared of
I'll
that.
figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
definitely.
it was just like that sense of it. So when you got to London, what did you do?
Okay, so I love telling the story. There's a big, huge Holiday Inn next to Heathrow Airport.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for a few days.
With what money?
Well, I sold my car, so I think I had
Oh,
$1,000.
Yeah,
So not a lot.
Yeah.
I had $1,000, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna save like 200, just so if everything goes to shit here, I
Yeah,
can at
you
least
can
book a
book
Ryanair
it.
flight to my grandparents' house in Germany, and then like
Right.
figure it out from there.
Right.
So I stayed at this Holiday Inn. I used hotwire.com. That's where I get all the best hotel deals. Stayed at the Holiday Inn.
Hotwire.com, does that still exist?
It does. Yeah, I booked it for my mom the other day in Vienna.
Oh my God, hotwire.com, that's an exclusive.
Yeah, it's good.
Because I'm always looking for a good hotel, to
Yeah,
be
no,
honest.
it's good.
Because I always use the other one and it's just so expensive. Yeah.
No, I'm all about the deal
Oh, absolutely.
and the
Same.
quality.
Same. Hotwire.com, I'm going to remember that. And
Yeah,
then,
it's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I found like a 3-week like short stay like room to rent in Wood Green. Oh, this is quite funny. So
Oh my God, I love Wood Green.
Yeah,
I
well,
used to,
so
I used to be in Wood Green.
did you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
so I moved there like literally the day after the riots.
Oh my
But
gosh,
because I
yes.
had been in America, we never got that news. So I didn't
What?
know what had happened. So it's August 2011 that I
Yeah.
moved here. And I was like walking up and down the streets of Wood Green, like, this place is a wreck. Like, oh my God, I don't know if London's the place for me, not realizing there'd just been this huge fucking
Yeah.
uprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. But you
Um,
still stayed.
Well, I had it for 3 weeks, and I was like, if I find a job in 3 weeks,
Right.
I will stay. And if not, it's not meant to be, I'll go to Uma's house, and I'll
Mm.
cry, and I'll figure out what happens
Mhm.
next.
Mhm.
And literally the last day of that 3 weeks, I got a job at the worst nightclub in London. It's now shut down. Cargo. Do you remember Cargo
Yes.
in East London? Oh my
Yes.
God.
Oh my God.
Got a job there, and I said, well, that's it. I'm a Londoner now. Moved into another sort of like short-term flat, and then
Oh
I've
my
been here ever
God.
since. Yeah.
Oh wow. So working from bars
Mm-hmm.
into Soho House into what you're doing now and having your company.
Mm-hmm.
What was that transition like? Obviously, because med school is now out the window.
Yeah, never went back.
Yeah.
So was working in bars, really quickly moved into sort of events and marketing for
Mm.
bars, and was having a great time, like throwing these amazing events and like not just at Cargo, I'd kind of like
Yeah,
transitioned
yeah,
out of
yeah.
there, but was doing like freelance event production and was working on some like just amazing projects, amazing venues. Had a baby.
So yes,
and
I was gonna
yeah.
come to that. So basically, you've met a guy, or it's not a guy. Like
Yeah, well, yes, it
you-
had to take a guy to make the baby.
No, no, no. But I'm saying like
Yeah.
obviously because you went to Germany to follow a guy, right?
Oh, yeah, no, he's out of the picture
It wasn't
too.
it wasn't the same guy.
No, that
basically.
didn't work
It's a
out, no.
new London guy.
A new London guy. A new
Okay,
so,
obviously she's not together. They're not together.
no, not with him either. I was trying to, you know, I had a really supportive mom. She was like, "You can do this." So I'm a single mom, 3 kids, you know,
Oh.
and a lot of my friends back in the States, you know, especially the military ones, you get married at 18. By the time you're 24, you have 2 kids. They were like, "About time." And obviously, all my London friends were like, "You're crazy."
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was
but-
gonna say because I was like, "Well, your London friends?" Because obviously your family are back in the US, but it's like you're here by
Yeah.
yourself. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going to have a baby.
My mom was like, "You can do this. You got this. I'll support
Oh,
you."
I
And this
love
is a
that.
blessing. And I was
love
like,
it.
"Yeah."
It is. Children are a blessing.
Yeah, and she is. She's turning 10 next
Yeah.
week. I'm
Oh
like,
my
I can't believe it. I
God,
know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
But yeah, so I was pregnant. I was broken up with. I was a freelance event producer at 24. My mom was like, just come home for a bit, like have a healthy pregnancy on the beach. Mom lives in Florida now. She retired in
Right,
Florida. So she's
right.
like, we live on the beach.
Mm.
Come like take a breather, have your
Yeah,
baby, and
yeah.
then think about what you want to do next. So I moved
Right.
home, I think when I was 5 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I had Eloise
Oh,
in
she's beautiful,
in
by
Florida.
the way. So beautiful.
And then when she was about a year old, I was feeling that like, you know, my life in London had kind of been cut short.
Mm.
And I was working in this like really cool, nice, like sort of beachside, resort side, like bar restaurant in Tampa, Florida. But I just felt so like unfulfilled almost. And I just thought, you know, there's so much in London that I was doing and I still want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm getting back to London. So when Ellie was a year, I moved back, got the job at Soho House. I had been freelancing them for them before, so kind of had an in already.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say like how that guy come back, but you already had that
had some
connection.
connections from the event producing stuff, and they were like, "Yes, come back. Like we'll look after you. You can run the events at High Road House in Chiswick." I was like, where the fuck is Chiswick? Because I had lived in Shoreditch, you know? I'd never even heard of Chiswick. I was like, I want to be in London. I think you're misreading my email. And they're like, no, it is in London. It's really nice. Like, it's good for families, you know? Like, come and we'll take care of you. I was like, okay, all right.
And you're still in West London now.
Yeah.
So I guess you loved it. I guess it was good. I guess Chiswick is nice.
Yeah,
Chiswick
is actually really nice.
It's really
Like,
nice.
I
And
was,
it's
I
very,
didn't know.
they were right. They were families, very
It's
wholesome.
been great.
Yeah,
It's been amazing. And yes, I was running events for Soho House. Was doing High Road House in Chiswick, and then White City House opened, so was running that. And in the meantime, met another guy who I am still with. We're engaged.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you're really with.
We're like proper together.
You're
now.
like proper together and have a second baby.
Yeah, we do, baby Ivy.
Oh.
But yeah, so was running events and stuff, and then was using.
Actually, I want to go back to the guy. How did you meet?
Okay, all right.
Because the dating streets are really wild. So I really love hearing
Okay.
positive love stories. So
Okay.
tell me, fill me with hope.
Okay, so I met John on a night out in a pub in Chiswick, like literally just a few doors down from High Road House.
Right.
So My mom had come to visit after a
Right.
year. So Ellie
Yeah.
was 2.5 at this point. My
Mhm.
mom came to visit. I was like, I'm so glad you're here. I have a babysitter. Like, I'm going out. I've not been out in ages. I'm a single mom, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
my life was like work,
Yeah,
baby. That was
yeah,
it. And I didn't have
exactly.
money for anything else
Yeah.
because the nursery and the
Oh,
rent, that was it. That's all I had money
seriously,
for.
it's crazy.
So my mom came. I was like, I'm going out. This is amazing. I invited my best friend, this Norwegian guy from back in like my bartending
Yeah.
days, Christian, to come have a drink with me at this pub near work.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, but I'm only going to come for one. I was like, sure, whatever. You always say that. We're going to be out all night, you know? So he came, he had one drink, and he was like, right, I am leaving now. And I was like, you cannot do this to me. Like, this is my one night.
It's my one night
to
of
be
freedom.
out. Like, you can't do this. He's like, no, I've got to go. And I was like, well, you're fucking dead to me now. But I've just seen this girl who I work with. Let me
Yeah.
go and like see if she can let me hang
Yeah.
out with her. I'm desperate. I'll hang out with anybody. So I was like, hey, can I hang out with you? And she's like, yeah, no problem. I'm just here with this guy who I'm talking to and like some of his friends. I was like, yeah,
Right.
cool, whatever. I don't care who you're hanging out with. I'm
Just
just
wanna
not going
hang out.
home.
Yeah.
So walked over there. John was there with a cute little
Mhm.
hat on,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's how we met in this little group. And he was
Yeah.
talking to me all night, and he kept buying me glasses of wine. And like
Mhm.
back then, you know, he's like, you have a cigarette,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I had been like really out of the dating game for a
Mm.
long time at this point because you know I was pregnant and then
Mhm.
I had a child, so
Yeah.
like 2 years or so that I
Yeah,
had been
yeah,
not dating anyone.
yeah.
And so he's like, I was really chatting you up, but for me, it just went all over
Oh,
my head. I was like, this guy's just, he's like rich
Yeah,
or
he's-
something. He's buying everybody drinks, giving
he's
everybody
just it.
cigarettes.
That's what always happens. I've been out a long time. People always just buying people
That's
drinks.
it. That's it. He's just buying for everybody. But he was like, no, I was actively trying to like hit on you.
Oh my god! So when did it finally click?
So I mean, we were talking all night, and then at some point, I was very drunk at this point. I'm gonna kiss him. So I like leaned in, gave him
Right
a
in
kiss.
front of everyone. I love
Well, we were
this.
kind of like off to the side a bit
Right,
at that
right,
point.
right.
Leaned in, gave him a kiss, and then I hear someone like slap their hand on the window, and I looked out, and it was the girl who had brought me over because I had forgotten at the beginning. She said, "This is the guy
No!
who I'm talking to." Oh no, I stole her mail. I'm a good person though, I promise. Remember that like
How
life
did she let you into her group?
Oh no, it's so bad. Hold on, you know.
Oh my god! So she slaps the. Oh my god! What? Did you just carry on kissing him?
She left. She left, so I was like, guess that's over. He's mine now.
Did you get to see how it worked?
Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh my god! Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! Okay.
I'm crying. In my defense, I don't know.
No.
John told me that they were not actually talking.
No.
And
No,
he showed me the text
she let
messages.
you into her
No.
group. You literally, she told you, she gave you the heads up.
She said, he's the one for me. I said,
And then,
for a bit, not for long.
and then you just literally, but then also it's not your fault. He was buying you drinks and he was,
Yeah, like he wasn't talking
Right?
to her. How would I remember?
exactly.
He didn't make any.
And
like,
he didn't make any,
No.
like, it wasn't, because you can
she
tell,
wasn't
right? If
even
someone,
there. Where was she?
which was outside.
Yeah,
outside just-
watching. Oh no! Oh no!
She was outside and you just swooped in.
Oh no!
Oh my god, that's so
Oh,
funny.
man.
Oh my god, I thought it was gonna be something. I when you said she told about the guy, I thought it was gonna be something, right? But then when you said, oh, then we're with other people, because I thought she was like on a date, and then I'm on the. But no, she said she was with good friends and we were all talking. I didn't realize it was gonna be. Oh my
no.
god!
I know. It's
Oh
so
my
bad.
god!
But we are still together, like 7.5 years
Exactly.
later.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, you can't. Like he wasn't choosing her. It
He
wasn't
told.
like
Yeah. I mean,
he was
told
buying
me-
both of you drinks
No,
and
he
then you
definitely
swooped in, right? It was.
No.
So it's not like, she it was cute. It is what it is, and it happens.
It
It happens.
happens.
But God, like literally
Yeah.
just kissing him, and I would love to see her face when she
Oh,
slaps
it was
her hands
bad.
on the window.
It was bad.
And
was
just be like, what was your face like? You must have been like,
I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this. But then she left, and I was like, let's keep kissing.
And you've been kissing for 7 years.
That's it, ever since.
Oh my God. And you're engaged?
Yeah, we're engaged.
Oh my God.
And we have
a beautiful
2
baby.
kids.
Exactly.
I mean, like, he's like, so, obviously at that point I had a 2.5-year-old.
Right. So how did that come up? Like, did you, obviously after the kissing and you're like, oh, well, how did you tell him? How did you integrate?
Well, I had already been telling him about my kid all night.
Okay, right.
Because
okay,
again, like,
cool.
I didn't think he was hitting on me, and I don't know
Right,
if
you were just chatting and really just...
Yeah, it never occurred to me to be like, oh, maybe this guy likes me, maybe I shouldn't tell him I have a kid. And I don't know that would ever occur to anybody, because that's a big part of your life.
Absolutely.
But I had already been talking about her all night, you know? Like, she's the most important thing in my life. It's my baby. It's my little homie.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah. And so then... this is so personal. Couldn't really go out on dates. I didn't have babysitters.
Yeah.
So, like, she'd go to sleep and then he'd come over. And that was like our dating, right? Like, come over and like bring a bottle. He used to always bring a bottle of champagne. And then after a few months turned to Prosecco. I was like, well, what's happening here?
He's like, this girl, she's draining my pocket.
And that's kind of how we hung out. But I would always be like, well, you can't meet Ellie, because I never wanted to be one of those moms that was like, had a new boyfriend coming every, few years or whatever. And I had kind of always thought it was going to be like me and Ellie. Like, I wasn't looking for a boyfriend at all. So yeah. So, and then I think after a few months, he was like, I would really like to meet this like sleeping child who you're like not hiding, but who you're hiding. I'm hiding him, not her.
Yeah.
And so I think then one day we did meet up for like, it was a weekend, maybe we met up for brunch or something. And he was like, love this kid so much. And then he was just, was around more with her and kind of,
how did that feel? Because obviously it was just you two, and now to bring a third person, did you feel like obviously this was a new relationship versus like being a mother, and how did you juggle that? Because I feel like a lot of our audience might be in the same situation, right? And when do you know is the right time to introduce your kid? When do you know is like the right time to make that work, or even think of it long term, because for so long it has been just the two of you? What advice would you give?
I don't know. I was very like nervous about it, and like very cautious because again, I just didn't want her to grow up with a new play daddy coming in, every few years. So I don't know, it really, like, we took it really, really slow. Like, again, I wasn't going out, so we did a lot of, like, nighttime dating, like, in my front room, and, like, just wasn't, I
built it slowly,
built it slowly. I didn't try to, like, integrate him or force anything, like, straight away. And even for us, we were trying to figure out, like, are we actually going to be in a relationship? Because he had just come out of a really long one. I'd never dated with a kid before, so we took a long time to figure it out, like a good like 6 months before we were like, okay, we're actually in it. And then from there, it became a bit more like, I felt a bit more comfortable being like, let's go do stuff, the three of us.
And when did he propose?
When did he propose? Last year. So 6 years later, and we'd already had a baby. We had a mortgage at this point. Like, I was like, we are so married, John. It's like we've got so many legally binding documents at this point. Like, what's the wedding? But it's gonna be a fun party. So it was last year, right after Ivy, our second baby, was born. In Ireland.
Oh, nice. Is that where he's from?
Nope. No, we were just on holiday. Oh, nice. And we were at this really beautiful beach, and it was sunset. And up question.
And you said yes, of course.
Yeah, I know. I kind of thought that I would like be a bit annoyed at him, because I've been telling him. I was like, and I knew he'd had the ring for a few months as well.
Oh, how did you find out?
Jamila's I have my ways.
She knows.
I have my ways. And also, I kept thinking like it was going to happen, because it was like Christmas. We had a big Christmas party. I was like, this is the moment. I like did my hair. Didn't happen. Then we had like family Christmas. Didn't happen. New Year's Eve. Didn't happen. My birthday in Morocco. Didn't happen.
John, why didn't you do her birthday in Morocco?
I mean, please. Valentine's Day, anniversary, all these
Was he just trying to throw you off? Like, what was the...
He's a perfectionist, and I think he's one of those people who, like, when you want things to be so right, you kind of hesitate.
Yeah.
So,
I know that. I know that.
That's a real thing for people.
Yeah.
Not for me. I'm like, just slap it together.
No, I'm definitely... I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, literally, this podcast, if you knew what I go through for this podcast. But yeah.
But so when it finally did happen, I was like, I'm going to finally, like, but instead I cried. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Like, I was actually really quite emotional about it. So.
oh, I love love. That's so
Yeah, it was good.
beautiful.
And Ellie's
Oh,
totally fine, actually. Like,
okay.
she's really good with it. And she's
Yeah.
like, 'cause I was saying, like, oh, look, we can just get married. We can do the paperwork. Like, John can, like, officially, like, formally adopt you and
Yeah.
all this stuff. She's like, why? I don't care. He's my dad. It doesn't matter.
No.
I'm like, okay, well, that's good. Because
Yeah,
here I
because
am staying up at night being like,
No, but it's
and
it's
she's
it's a
like,
real
she
thing.
feels really secure in our family. So I'm so thankful for that more
That's
than anything.
beautiful.
Is that, like, he's delivered on this, like, beautiful relationship with Ellie. And she has, like, this great father in her life,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
No,
I didn't have
beautiful.
one growing up, so I kind of didn't really
Mm.
see the value 100%, you know? I was
Mm.
like, I had a great life.
Yeah.
My mom's strong and powerful.
Yeah.
I'm strong and
Yeah.
powerful. Like, I
Yeah.
can do this. And, like, men are, like,
Absolutely.
a nice little added bonus, but not a,
Yeah.
like, need to have. But
Yeah.
actually, I'm like, we do need John.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
added so much to, like, not just my life, but to Ellie's life. She
Mm.
benefits so much from having this amazing relationship
No,
with him. And I'm
absolutely.
so forever thankful to him
Oh,
for that.
that's so beautiful. That's so lovely.
Yeah. To the point we would joke, like, it's a bad joke, but I was like, well, so I used to work at Soho House. We
Yeah.
have loads and loads of really nice Soho home furniture
Yeah.
from the sample sales.
Yeah.
And I would always joke, like, well, if we ever break up, I'm taking the furniture. And he's like, well, I'm taking the kids. I'm taking Ellie. 'Cause that's his baby. He's like, that's my baby. And I'm like, well, this furniture is my baby. So no. Terrible.
Oh, that's beautiful, and it's beautiful when that works, you know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you do hear of situations when it doesn't work, and it gets messy. But that's like it's true. But as a mother first, right? Well, as a woman first, but as a mother, it is always on your back of your mind to protect your kid,
100%.
to make sure that they are comfortable, to make sure whoever's around them, you know, also has their best interests at heart. So
Yeah.
it's definitely like a thing to have felt that way, but also nice to know that she feels comfortable, and
Yeah.
she feels loved, and because
Yeah.
kids know, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
feel it, they can sense energy like no other. So it's really beautiful that it's like worked out, and this man who's
Yeah.
coming to your life
Yeah.
actually loves her unconditionally as well as loving you. So that's really beautiful. But thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that.
It
'cause,
was
like,
worth
yeah,
stealing her man in the
it
beginning.
was worth it. The kiss, and oh my god,
Oh,
that was just too much. Literally, do you, I guess you're not friends.
No.
I was gonna say, is it almost on the bridge? Will she be at the wedding? I said, but I guess not.
No, I don't think so.
So how do you juggle being a mum, a wife to be,
Mm.
and obviously a woman outright, and juggling your business, juggling motherhood, and really championing, the sustainability space?
Yeah. Well, it is a juggle. Let's start with that.
They say you can have it all, but not all at once.
Yeah, there you go. I like to think, I mean, I don't feel it, but I like to think in my head that I'm like a hyper organized person.
Mhm.
Like, I love my calendars. Like, I have a million lists, but like, every day I'm rewriting the list. Like, okay, here's what's happening. Here's what I need to take care of. Here's the priorities. Like, I really feel like I like manage and like run the train, right? So that's the first thing is like, you got to get organized. You got to figure out like what you got to do and when you got to do it.
Right.
The second thing is John is actually really, really supportive. So I run my own business. He also runs his own. So I think between the two of us, we can kind of help balance each other out. Like, okay, babe, you're on set today. I got the kids. I can move this meeting to here, but then I need you to do this so that we can do this and this and this, right? So the teamwork is a huge part of it as well. I think the thing I'm actually not the best at is like the emotional availability for my kids, because they come home, or for Ellie anyways. Ivy's so little, she's not bothered about me, but Ellie is at a stage now where like she wants to talk to me about like everything that's going on, and I want to hear it, but I'm like, sometimes I feel bad 'cause I'm like, I don't have time to hear everything, because this girl could talk to me for like 10 hours
She can,
straight.
yeah, they can really go
About like what she was watching on YouTube, and
Yeah.
like, do you know Rebecca Zamolo on YouTube? I'm like, oh my god, I just do not care. But so I'm trying to find like the balance with Ellie of like, how do I make her feel? I don't want her to think that her mom was someone who was just always on the laptop or always on the phone. Like, I want her to feel like I'm there for her. So I've been really intentional about having more like mommy daughter dates and like building that into the schedule, because
yeah,
I can't like be spontaneous. You know, I don't have the
I hear
time and
that.
capacity
And that's okay.
to do
and
it.
That's
So
okay
I'm trying to intentionally build stuff in with them.
I guess it is being intentional, right? And
Yeah.
it's like my sister's the same. She's got 3 kids, like different ages, and just trying to have that, be the boss babe, but also be a mother and then be a wife and do. And it's not. You can't be spontaneous. You have to kind of
Yeah.
put it into the schedule.
So it is a juggle, and like if it's on the schedule, it gets done. But if it's not on the schedule, like Please don't throw anything else my way. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it.
It's only so much time in the day. So much time there. So why sustainability? Because obviously I feel like it's a buzzword now. Everyone wants to be sustainable. Everyone wants to be, talk about the environment and like what is it that has drawn you to that space, and what keeps you there?
Yeah.
And what are the causes, or how are you trying to help businesses really now move into that space?
Well, I guess if I can go back to my time at Soho House. So I was there as an event, and I felt like I was just getting people drunk all the time.
That's a good thing.
It's fun to throw a good party. Like, it's great. But I was just like, again, going back to that, like, I'm a military child. Like, I need to be doing something like better for the world, I started to use the events as an opportunity to like have more impact, positive impact. So there was this really great girl at Soho House who started a mentorship program named Min at White City House. So I was like really keen to get involved with like that. And then there was a member who lived in the BBC Television Center right next to White City House who was helping people strip out plastic from all their operations. I was like, ooh, let's get involved with that. And so slowly I was finding ways to use my job as, head of events to do things that I felt were better for people, better for planet. And then in 2020, George Floyd was murdered. And the company set up this D&I steering committee where a few people from around the globe at Soho House were talking to the leadership team about like what they think about, D&I, race, and equity in the company. And so this was really my opportunity to get behind something. And I was like, look, when I look around some of the houses here in London, like I'm the only Black female manager at the time. There's so many wonderful women there now, but at times like, I'm one of the only, and anyone else here who's Black is like the kitchen porter. They're cleaning the dishes and like that. And you would hear those same stories, from different houses around the world. Like it's me, and then it's like all the housekeepers, and that's definitely not to say that Soho House was like a bad company at all, but it's the system that existed in the world, and and it's amazing that they gave us the opportunity to try and be part of like changing that. So I was working on the steering committee with the leadership team, and then the company at the time, I didn't know this was going public, and we're putting in an ESG program, so an environmental social governance program, which is a whole framework around how this company manages its responsibility for the environment with their operations. So, they're building hotels, they're buying food, they're creating waste. Like, how do you do that responsibly? Environmentally, how do you do it socially? And then how do you report on it and like hold yourself to account and improve year on year? And I remember saying to the chief people officer at the time, this job looks amazing. And, whoever gets this job, I'm going to become their best friend. I'm going to learn everything I can from them for like a year. And then I'm going to push them down the stairs. I'm going to steal their job. And she was like, don't do that. She was like, maybe you could just apply for it. And I was like, do you think so? And she's like, yeah. And so then I actually like had like one like 10-minute interview with Martin Kuzmarski, who was the COO at the time. It was more than 10 minutes, but one interview with him. And like the next day he offered me the job.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't believe this. He's like, look, we believe in you. You've got the passion, know that, the brands, like, let's see where we can go. And he's like, let me tell you, you've beat out some people here who have got like doctorates in this stuff. So don't let me down. I was like, I will not. Like, thank you for this opportunity, And so
and
then,
that goes back to doing the work, guys, like in being passionate, right?
Yeah.
Like you, first of all, put yourself out there, and you saw that you didn't wait for that promotion to come your way. You kind of made the opportunity, right? And let it be known. I think a lot of time we sit and wait.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, you can't do that.
No.
And just having that, like you said, you just went for it. Like he clearly told you, talked about people that are overqualified. But like I said, when it's your time, it's your time.
So true.
It's your time, and you just got to fly.
It's so true. And, I always tell people, like, before that job, I was getting a bit bored in events at Soho House. So I had been applying for other jobs. Like, I think I applied for one with, like, The Wing. Do you remember The Wing? It was, like, an all-female members club.
No.
It didn't last long. No shade.
No shade.
And then, like, Selfridges and even Meta. And I just wasn't getting these jobs. And I was like, oh, what is it? Like, is it me? Is it because I keep mentioning I have a kid, like maybe they don't want to hire me. And then I got the best job ever,
in where you wanted and where you were at.
It took me out of events into what I really wanted to be doing, which was like purpose-driven work.
Yeah.
And so I always say to people, like, if you're not getting a job, that's because your real job is on the way. Like the universe, what is for you does not miss. So.
Say that again. What is for you does not miss.
Yeah,
Amen
exactly.
to that. Oh, wow.
And so that's how I got into like
Right.
proper, official, formal sustainability work. And I got trained up by this really great organization called the Sustainability Group for 6 months. It was COVID, so it kind of had the benefit of a lot of the houses being closed at the time.
Right.
So I got to really like understand like what ESG, this like formal sort of like operation and policy thing means and looks like. And then how do I apply that to Soho House, which is like a cool creative members club, because they don't want to hear about your
you're
task
wasting
force
water.
for climate change. You know, they don't care. Like,
you're wasting water. It's like you're wasting this. And you need to buy less toilet roll.
No, exactly. And I realized, you know, at that point, there was this real big disconnect between like living this like great lifestyle and one that you've worked hard for and have been told. I mean, I was born in the 90s, right? 1990, almost an 80s baby. That if you work hard, you can have nice things.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that wholeheartedly.
But then had kind of listened to, or, you know, had in my mind that what sustainability was like, you can't have nice things if you want to save the planet.
Right.
And what I realized in my new job as head of House Foundations was that you can have nice things and you can do good for the planet. And so that's what I was really pushing for with Soho House. And we did like amazing work together.
You did.
We did such great stuff. I mean, we were raising loads of money. We were launching more and more mentorship programs, giving access to creatives with financial barriers to the houses so they could use that platform or that network to like propel themselves. We were, I mean, on the environmental side, everyone thinks this is so gross, but I loved the waste reduction stuff. So I would go to like Soho House Istanbul and I'd be like standing in the trash room with the teams and I'd be like, let's look through this trash.
And let's how do you get people to actually do that?
They were into it. They were into it. I mean, not the members, obviously, but the staff. Let's look through this and let's figure out, like, look, we're throwing away 20 billion napkins a day. I mean, obviously, that's exaggerated, but we're throwing away a lot of single-use napkins. Why don't we switch to linen? You know, and what's the sort of like difference in like carbon savings if we do that? What's the impact? How much better are we being for the planet if we make a choice like that?
Right.
Or, oh, look, we're bringing in thousands of really heavy glass water bottles. What if we had like an amazing new innovative like filtered tap system here that meant we weren't bringing in all this heavy glass and we're actually doing a lot better for the planet and our members are still getting like great, they're getting what they want, sparkling water, you know? And so it was finding all of these sort of like solutions and innovations. There was this really cool one on the waste stuff again. It was a glass crusher. So you could take a glass wine bottle and you could crush it back into sand because glass is sand essentially, right? You crush it back into sand. You can use that sand to landscapes instead of dredging up sand from beaches and destroying ecosystems. You can like close the loop in your own property. So there are all these like really interesting. I mean, look, you're interested, right? You're into it now, aren't you?
I really am.
You see what I'm saying?
I want to get to where you're turning glass into sand.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
And there's all this cool stuff, you know, and there's like Black-owned, vegan sneaker companies. I've got them on Loki, who could be our staff shoe partner. And there's this, and there's this, and there's all this amazing stuff happening out in the world. And luckily at Soho House, I had a real world view because I was talking to our teams in Hong Kong and Mumbai and LA about what they're seeing, what they're hearing about, and how can we integrate that into our systems.
Right.
And so I did that at the houses for a few years. And at the time, you know, DEI, sustainability, really, really hot topic. Soho House, really cool brand. Was getting loads of opportunities. I got offered a book deal.
Oh, wow.
Didn't do it.
Why?
Yet.
Okay.
Haven't done it yet.
Amen.
I will do it at some point. You know, got offered to do a podcast, was getting all these speaking opportunities, and I just thought, I'll never be able to do all these things. Are so exciting, and I really like talking to people about this stuff because actually it sounds dry, but look, you're into it. Like I said, you know, I really like getting people excited about this stuff and thinking about how they can do it in their own lives, right, without sacrificing anything. But I'll never have the chance to do all of this because I work 100 hours a week and I have a boyfriend and I have a child and, you know, it's too much. So I went on sabbatical, agreed with Nick to go on sabbatical. Nick Jones is CEO, former CEO, but definitely the founder, forever the founder. Went on sabbatical for the summer, and within like a month of being on sabbatical to write this book, which I never did. I haven't done yet. Let me reframe that.
Haven't done yet.
I got pretty busy freelancing. So a bunch of members reached out to me being like, "Oh, could you help us if you've got some time? Like, could you help us with this? Could you help me with that?" Really quickly started working with Brenda Edwards, Jamal Edwards' mom, on his trust.
Which we did a fabulous panel talk Thank you so much for having me.
You are
amazing.
So
beautiful.
You are amazing.
It was really, really great.
Go check it out.
Go check it out. And that's a really great foundation and charity as well. And what you do with them are just really, really great.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. And Brenda's fabulous.
Yeah, she's so fun.
She really is.
But so started working with them really quickly. Loki, the sneakers, at Sony Music, Apple were calling me to come do some talks, and was just getting really busy. Was making, I mean, frankly, more money than I was in my 9 to 5. Yeah. And like actually for the first time, because I now had this control over my schedule, could like drop Ellie off at school and pick her up from school at the normal times. And that for me was actually like the big
game changer,
the big thing, because she used to always have to be the first kid at breakfast club, you know, way before school started, the last kid picked up from after school club. And I would always envy these like moms and dads who could just take their kid to school at the normal time. And I thought, when I was able to do that, I was like, that's it, I'm not going back. And it's not to say that I do it every day, because I definitely don't. But the fact that I have the freedom or the control to do that now is like priceless to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of moms have mom guilt when they have to go to work, and there's nothing wrong with it. You have to go to work. Like, you know, things ain't free. So we get that, but it's true. I feel like a lot more people are shifting to entrepreneurship or owning their own business. I'm not saying it's easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not. Being your own boss, they said. It's not easy. But there is that choice and being able to really navigate your life in the way that best suits you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just best suits your family.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now my schedule's crazy, you know, because
now you build everything back up into that crazy schedule and do stuff for so many different people. But it's also because you get, as much as Soho House is a great brand, you now get to touch points with so many other brands and so many other people from different walks of life who are thinking about sustainability in a different way, or you can champion them in a different, or you can change minds like how you're changing mine now. We've seen, like you said, people are like, sustainability, I don't know, I don't want to not fly, you know, on a plane, or I don't want to like, but it can be done in a more, you don't have to give up everything for it.
I think there's also some cultural like mindset shift that needs to happen, right? I know this great guy who's got a B Corp. So like a B Corp is like a framework to show that you are really thinking about this stuff for your business. He's got a B Corp entertainment agency. And he told me, he's like, I'm kind of nervous to like talk about it, because I do fly to LA like however many times a year. And the first time I try to say, oh, we're trying to be a more sustainable company, I'm going to get like, I'm going to get canceled or whatever. I'm not canceled, but I'm going to get called out as a hypocrite. And I think that's really unfair, because sustainability, like getting into the more boring, like academic side of it now, is that for something to be sustained, or even like regenerative, which is the new sort of like buzz term. So put that on your website for a few years and then we'll switch it again. But things need to be thriving socially, environmentally, but also economically, because if he doesn't fly to LA 7 times a year, 12 times a year, whatever, his business fails. And then there is no more B Corp entertainment agency. It's just everyone back to not giving a fuck. You know? So like you need to be able to fund this business, to be able to fund it ethically, and to start to change the industry. To LA. Also, it's not your fault that they haven't adopted sustainable aviation fuel. Like, this is not your sphere of influence. Where your influence is where you need to think about ethics.
Absolutely. I feel like when people hear that sustainable, they want to kind of blanket everything, right? Instead of being like, okay, this is what you're doing, your part. And yes, you can't control the other part. That's the only way you're going to get to LA. It's not like it's a train or anything. That's the only way. So if that's what you have to do in order to make this work, then that's the choice you have to make. And it makes sense for that moment.
Exactly. It's about using your sphere of influence and your leverage. And I was like, look, and if you are, you know, flying to LA however many times, and you're flying first class because you are a very wonderful, like, successful businessman, they probably will listen to you. So why don't you email them and say, as a like gold member or whatever, I want to know when your sustainable aviation fuel, like pressure them, because that's how businesses change, right? They respond to public and consumer demand. So demand something, but you got to go to run your business. So don't feel any shame on that.
Oh my God, that's so true. So what's next? How do you see sustainability in the next like few years? What can an ordinary person like me do in my business or at home or in the like my day-to-day that is going to push the needle?
Well, so I think that everybody is already starting to think and will increasingly think about how the choices they make can be more impactful, more sustainable, more socially impactful, right? So good example. you run events, right? I used to run events, so I can kind of speak to this one, right? Events can be really wasteful. So it's about thinking, it's about working with your team to think about like, okay, what are things that we can reuse? What are things that we can rent? What are things that we can collaborate with on somebody else that kind of eliminates waste streams? You can hire me.
Yes.
But, you know, I can help you look at like
No,
innovation.
absolutely.
You know, I can help you source like innovation partners that are doing things a bit differently, right? It's like your own sphere of influence. And it's definitely not saying like, well, we're just gonna like get rid of shit and like make things less beautiful, because it's not gonna work. It needs to be as luxurious, if not better, right? For people to buy in. And it's just about finding those ways to do it in a way that is less wasteful, less carbon emitting, you know, more ethically supplied, more ethically produced, all those sorts of things. And I think once you start to find those things, all of a sudden more and more of them open up to you, because you kind of enter that that world.
Right.
And it's definitely not ever about being like, we're a totally green brand, and, you know, we're all hippies here. And
do you think anyone can ever be a totally green brand?
I think you can really minimize, right, what you're doing. I don't think anyone's ever going to be perfect and then beyond.
Right.
And I think saying that sets yourself up for failure. I think progress over perfection is the key when it comes to sustainability.
Right.
So no, I don't think anyone can ever be 100% green.
But
I think we can all be much greener.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think companies and people like me can do to be more sustainable, or kind of edge themselves into that? If we're not, you know, I don't know where to start. Where would you advise someone when you go into someone's company? What you have to assess it, of course, but what is the one thing you can say each company can do off the bat?
For me, I mean, again, maybe this goes back to like loving being in the trash room at Istanbul, but I think waste is a really big one. So if you can find a way to be more circular with your products or whatever it is that you're producing for people, it's a really great first step. I think if you can find a way to integrate more diversity into your collaborations or the people you're working with, and I don't necessarily mean diversity like people of color or you know, just women, but I think really thinking about ways that you can create opportunity for people who are excluded from it is a way to like build up communities that then supports a more sustainable ecosystem. So I think those are probably the two places I usually start with my brands. Like, what's your waste? What are your people like?
Love it.
I think build from there.
Well, you've definitely changed my perspective. So thank you so much for being here. It's been a beautiful conversation, an interesting conversation. It's so great to get to know more about you, because I didn't know half the stuff you shared. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so open. I really appreciate that. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Loving, you know, having this conversation. I always say I never want this to feel like a question and answer. I just wanted to be a little chat over cocktails.
Yeah.
And I hope you felt that. So I really want to thank you for being here. I've really enjoyed this. And we need to do a part 2, because I'm going to look at my business. I'm going to look at myself.
Yeah.
And see how I can be more sustainable.
Yeah.
And even with this podcast, right?
There you go.
There's so many things I could do. I know that I make the cocktails from scratch. So how could I be reusing ingredients or reusing stuff, or reusing basically, like, instead of having to do, I think I waste a lot of ice when I'm making stuff. So that's water. So how am I going to maybe refreeze? I don't know.
Or who can you collab with, right? I've got an idea. How can you get everybody who comes on this podcast to tell you one thing that they're doing to be more sustainable in their lives?
Ooh.
Shift culture. Use your influence.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that's been so good. Oh my God, that's been such a beautiful conversation and a beautiful episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe for more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.